Boom, baby, we are live. Welcome to the Tokyo Crypto Show, episode 113, where we're talking about our favorite comedy show, the United States government, and the clowns there. Good thing that the election was 1,000% authentic and unadulterated and completely legit because we're on YouTube and we are slaves. We do not speak freely here. We're gonna see. It's funny how these bills used to be in the billions, and now after Corona, it's the trillions. What I'm looking at, I talked to Josh from eLive program, and he calls me excited often. He's like, "Dude, don't you get it? We're witnessing the collapse of the financial system right now."
Exactly.
So morning, guys. How we doing? How we doing today?
Yeah, doing pretty good, pretty good. Just waiting for the eventual collapse of the fiat dollar and Bitcoin reigning supreme.
Now, morning, Miguel. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Just sipping on some caffeine.
Me too. Me too. I'm glad you watched Charlie's Hollywood debut as the Riddler in the Batman.
Riddle me this or riddle me that.
You were great, Charlie.
Big bad bat. I only remember the Jim Carrey version.
This guy's so much better than the Jim Carrey version. So much
Yeah,
better.
Jim Carrey version was kind of ridiculous. Arnold Schwarzenegger was the Iceman in that one. That was pretty bad.
Right.
Yeah.
I liked it when I was a kid, but I was like, damn, man, that's some bad acting.
That's when George Clooney whipped out the Batman credit card. That was
Oh, did he?
Right.
Yeah, that was one of the
Actually,
worst
I thought
ones.
that was like fake commercial or something. Man.
So bad. But anyways, yeah, so we're going to talk about this new spending bill. So I talked about this on Rule Zero, and I was trying to get Cappy to kind of, I was setting him up with a pitch, but he struck out because I was saying that based upon the history, and you guys let me know if I'm wrong as well, because I'm willing to be wrong. But based on the history of what's going on with our economy, once the economy starts to shit the bed, war, we go to war. And I feel like after this, hyperinflation time, because really I think the coronavirus was just an excuse to get control and print money, because nobody paid attention to all the money being printed around the world. Like me and Charlie got money in Japan, everybody got money in America. They were printing money all over the fucking globe. And now we have rising inflation. I think it's hilarious that they're blaming rising gas prices on Putin, and he invaded Ukraine 19 days ago, something like that. And
Right.
so it seems like they're just going back to the old war playbook. My biggest red flag is seeing all of the, all the woke patrol people, the Globo HOM something organization, rallying behind Ukraine. That's the biggest red flag for me. Trying to demonize Putin. And of course, they're in bed with China. Did you guys see that MasterCard Visa pulled all their payment processing out of Russia, and Union Pay from China came in and replaced it all?
Smart move on their part.
Yep.
Money making opportunity right there.
Yep. It's something else to be. I don't know. What do you guys think about the whole war trying to fix the money situation? What do you think about that?
It's right out of the. It's like if it's not the first play, it's the second play. When when problems start war, basically.
Yeah.
The first play was out of left field. They're like, oh, we didn't expect that one. Second play, oh yeah, we've seen this movie before.
Yep. We're already getting donations. Stefanescu Dragos, I believe this is Romanian money.
Yeah, Romanian domain. He's got.
Want to do a
we'll
teaser?
Talk about it sometime
.ro.
down the road.
The Global Homeowners Association is what we're talking about. So
of course, yes.
Yeah, so that's what we're seeing right now, and we're going to talk about this legislation that was just signed, and this is HR 2471, the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2022, signed by the President, Joe Sleepy Biden. Before we go into that, do you guys have any opening comments, statements, or you want to take a look at
Yeah,
charts?
well, I was kind of, well, yeah, we could look at the charts, look at the market and stuff like that. But one of the things that I was wondering was where you are right now in the sovereign individual, because I think last time you said you were what, like chapter 5, 6, something like that.
I am now. Let's check it out. I'm still in chapter 1 when they're talking about transition to the year 2000.
Good God, bro. Oh yeah, you said
Yeah.
you're like 15 minutes in last time, something like that. I
Yeah.
misremembered, but
I've
gotta get
been
stepping on that.
working out and like doing a lot of work at home and sorting things out. I've been
Yeah,
really
the only
busy.
reason why I mention it is because like today's news and the spending of the 1.5 trillion is like straight out of that goddamn book.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, like basically they're just like the government has become a behemoth of a what do you call it? Just a system that, or bureaucracy that basically just spends all your money, forces people to overconsume,
Right.
and then just doesn't give a shit about basically
Anything.
tanking the U.S. dollar.
Congress got a raise though.
Well, that's part of it. That's part
Congress
of it.
just got a raise.
That's
Because
baby. Let's get it.
Did you know that? Well, one of the things that in sovereign individual that they're predicting is that like something like 30-40% of the workforce eventually is like some sort of government employee.
Oh wow.
And they basically just take a lot of UBI, and everybody's relying on the government, so wants to prop up the ridiculous spending. And yeah, there's been a lot of, since like the mid 1980s, there's been a lot of people basically saying sometime this house of cards is going to fall. And a lot of people kind of get this, oh, they're crying wolf, it hasn't happened yet, but it's, slowly creeping up. And, for Rome, I mean, I think it took, over 100 years, slow decline, but hey, it's on its way there. It's not doing so hot.
we just gotta conquer a couple countries, man. I mean, that's it. Like, what are you guys complaining about? We take we take over Russia, we take over Cuba and stuff like maybe Jamaica and stuff, and then we Gucci, man. We're good.
Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0. That's all we need.
El Toss says Congress got a 21% raise. That's the real rate of inflation. I mean, that seems about right.
They're like, we need to beat the rate of inflation, so let's go 1 or 2% extra for ourselves. Get a little extra treat.
Super chat from My Nipples Hurt When You Twist Them. $2 super chat says pedo Joe.
Alrighty then.
Well, I want to just open up and just show you guys what we got here. I mean, this is, in my opinion, this is the real state of what's happening. I mean, all I see is panic right here. I'm going to play this for the audience. This here is Nancy Pelosi talking about justifying the war in Ukraine. Just take a listen to this 82-year-old senile fucking dinosaur.
But they know that we can't go there. Putin is trying to bait the trap so that we go in, and that's could be the beginning of World War III. Putin totally irresponsible, using weapons that are not allowed under the Geneva Convention. Putin, who threatens use of chemical weapons, nuclear, and the rest. So they know that we can't, but it's the ask. Now, he was this morning more, if we can't have a no-fly zone, let us have our own, and we need the airplanes to come in. No. This morning he was less on the ask for the policy, more on let us do it, help us get the planes. But also there is a school of thought that thinks the anti-aircraft missiles and the rest are a very important way. Myself, when I see those tanks, that 40 miles of tanks, I'd like to take out those tanks. I mean, I think that them having more planes might be useful, but that I'm not a military strategist. We hope that we will be able to get up to a place. I hope, you asked me how, I hope that we can get to a place where the MiGs, which are the kinds of planes they've been trained on, can go to Ukraine the F-16s, especially if we have an excess of them, can backfill for Poland.
Okay, I've got the official Tokyo Crypto Show response set aside there.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
That is the third most powerful person in the United States of America. It goes Biden, Kamala, and then her.
Well, they want to make sure that, basically you're like, I don't want to shoot any of these people because then the next one's just going to be in charge. That's their grand strategy.
Oh man. $20 super chat. Nancy's the same shape as Ben. Oh, Joe. I just it blows my mind to look at these people, and it's that's who's in charge. Like we are smarter than that bitch. Like all three of us.
Let's put some respect. Let's put some respect in our name. That's the world's greatest trader.
She is the world's greatest trader.
Forbes, she'll be on the front of Forbes now that CZ's owning it.
Oh man. So we have a lot to go through talking about this, and we're also going to talk about the trucker convoy getting their Bitcoin frozen. And this is why we always say, not your keys, not your coins. This is all pretty eye-opening for those who are looking for the truth, but the reality is a staggering majority of people are just fucking retarded, and there's no hope.
The funny thing is like they try to like brush those things under the rug in the media, and they try to like talk about their narrative still, and like, oh yeah, like this is totally fine. It's just like that dog in the fire, in the crypto space. Like, oh, price is going down. It's fine. But it's the same thing with the government. Just it has gotten to be just an absolute joke in terms of just all the stuff that they're doing. So it's one of these things where it's like at the end of the day, it's like, okay, do you want to rely on these people as military strategists and or taking care of the financial system? If the answer is yes, by all means, have a good time. If the answer is no, it's buy Bitcoin, control your money, have some self-sovereignty. I mean, that's what it comes down to, in my opinion.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the charts, and then we're going to review what's going on here in the legislation that's coming up. $1.5 trillion being spent. And then also, now I'm going to just ask a quick question before we do this.
Sure.
Was this a rumor, or did I see that the Saudis are considering taking the RMB over the dollar now?
Yeah, that's true. For oil, not like over the dollar. I mean, over the dollar when they're doing trading with China, basically.
Wow.
Some freedom's going to come over there real soon.
Man,
I don't think so.
We're gonna have to send some more transgender soldiers to the front lines to really show them the might of America.
Yeah,
all right, go ahead, buddy.
Well, I was just gonna say, if you're gonna bring that up, one of the things is like, America in terms of their actions thus far with Hong Kong and all this stuff is more of a pacifist nation, but they say that they're still activists in the world. But withdrawing from Afghanistan, basically. A lot of these countries starting to test the boundaries, so
yeah,
it is what it is. But we can get more into that discussion later. Yeah, so going over to the price of Bitcoin. So if you want to just escape the BS and go to that, nice old desert island or wherever you want, Maldives, whatever, take a look at these Bitcoin prices while they're cheap. We got $40,000 Bitcoin here. Not doing too shabby. One thing I was saying before was just, the the one thing that's really interesting about this 60-day cycle so far, we are currently on day 51 of the 60-day cycle. And we already had a high before day 30, which is bearish. We had a mid-cycle low, which came down here back down to 34,000. So it looked like it was going to be easy for Bitcoin to break below 33,000. And then we popped up, and then we've just been going sideways ever since. And right below this price of about $37,000, $38,000, Bitcoin has a really hard time dumping below when after this drop here or this drop here, it should have been extremely easy for Bitcoin to come down and make a new cycle low that is lower than the current price and to continue its bearish price action, but it isn't, right? In the last 1 month, Bitcoin has basically dodged bullets, defied gravity, saved cats from burning buildings, basically. We had the Ukraine war start, so the shock of a war that, in terms of the media, right, a lot of people did not expect. And then in terms of just earlier this week, right, the EU tried to ban proof of work for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Didn't happen. Today, we have the interest rate hike going to be announced, probably 1/4 point. So everybody's expecting that. Inflation is already going crazy anyways. They're still spending a lot of money. They're doing a war. They're going to print more money. So people are buying Bitcoin, basically. And Bitcoin should be coming down, but it's not, right? So that, to me, is very curious. Just all the stuff that's been going on macro-wise. I mean, we're going to need a new cyber war, China to invade Taiwan or something to try to push down the markets. But it seems like the bullets are out of the chamber for the bears. And it seems like the bulls want to take over, but we still haven't gotten a break of this downtrend. Right now, we're basically in this kind of shorter term triangle. I mean, you can look at it like this. You can look at it like this. I'd probably put it just roughly like this. And just means one side's got to give. And it looks like Bitcoin wants to go to the upside. So if we turn on the Bollinger Bands, we can see right now Bitcoin's trying to close above that 50-day moving average, which is the yellow line, and the 20-day moving average, which is the red line in the middle. And so we know once it breaks that area, it can close above there for a while. It hasn't been able to hold that thus far, but if it can, then we can actually have a shorter than, not shorter than average. We have a 51-day cycle low here. We could have another 50, here, technically the cycle low on day 42, right? And we could break up from here. I would say the next 2 or 3 days, we're really going to have to see the price jump up strongly in order to maintain that. But if you do look at the stock market started to kind of bounce back up a little bit, have some support, and Bitcoin has decorrelated from the stock market because it hadn't pulled down quite as much just in the ending part of the last, I would say, first half of this month. But if the stock market goes up, that's going to be good for Bitcoin. Just people, basically buyers coming back to markets, starting to bet on things again. If we do go down here to the 8-hour chart, Bitcoin has a lot of resistance though. So you can see the Bollinger Bands just coming down and pinching on it. And right now, I don't know what you want to call it exactly, but it's just basically somebody pinching the price, trying to push it down. And if Bitcoin here in the next 2 hours and 12 minutes can close where it's at or a little bit higher, right, then the next probably 8 hours is going to be going into that daily close. And if it again can have one more strong 8-hour candle, get back to the top of this wick, maybe around $41,000, $42,000, then I think you start seeing Bitcoin basically get some support. Doesn't mean it couldn't drop back down and kind of test the top of this trend line before coming back up. But I think, it's looking stronger here just in the last, I would say, 16 hours than it has over the last 1 week. So it's interesting to see. And so we'll see where that goes. But that's kind of what you want to be looking for here over the next probably 24 hours is, do we break to the upside? And if we break above this trend line here, which is the 100-day moving average at 42,600, that'd be a good sign. And then the ultimate that Bitcoin needs to break in order to get bullish again is breaking above 46K. So it's going to take some work for Bitcoin. It might take a while. We might not have that cycle low unofficially for another 9 days. So we could just come up here, hit that 100-day moving average, roll over again, and see where things go. But it seems like time is coming up basically, and there's not a lot more time for Bitcoin to, sit around. It's going to move one way or the other.
Yeah, I think Bitcoin has held up pretty well despite everything else doing pretty bad, and looks like the decoupling is starting to happen because, you know, obviously Twitter is like cancer, but all the Twitter experts are going nuts, saying we're in a bear market, everything's crashing, inflation, we're all going to zero, we're all going to die, you know, and it's just like, I don't know, man, these people are nuts.
And yet you can be yielding anywhere between 50% to 5,000% APR on different coins in the crypto market. Still,
how dare
that's
you?
Definitely a sign of a bear market.
How dare you? How dare you speak common sense and optimism?
You know what else is making me laugh though is there's so many people right now on YouTube saying that they told people like, hey, you guys, I called the top. There wasn't a single one of those motherfuckers calling anything, basically. It's kind of it's kind of hilarious seeing everybody just turn bear, and then as soon as it starts rebounding, we're going to see a lot of people. Hey, you guys! Well, I was telling you guys that it was going to go back into a bull market. Obviously, you can tell right here by this tweet I did 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Don't give away your plan, man. Come on.
Shall we take a look at Ethereum as well?
Yep. So basically here, that's you just look at the pattern on Bitcoin, and when we go over to Ethereum, it's almost no different. The only difference here is that Ethereum did not come even close to reaching its previous cycle high on day 17. So it's a lot more bearish than Bitcoin. You could even possibly consider, this downtrend here being the main one here, and then just a little bit of a longer term triangle that you're looking at here on Ethereum. And Ethereum still, compared to Bitcoin, Bitcoin's testing the upper boundaries of this and trying to get out, whereas Ethereum essentially is not. Even though I drew the lines in terms of these triangles slightly differently, just because the price is slightly different. But Ethereum is basically chilling because it's going to wait to see what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin can close above 40,500 on the daily, and then maybe get above like that 43, and then see if it doesn't drop too much from there, and then get above 46. Like I said, those are the moves for Ethereum. It has a little bit more work to do. I think here basically it has to get above probably this trend line first, which is a mild thing, right? And then here above 3,050, and then ultimately above 3,300 essentially. So it has a little bit more work cut out for it. But if it does break to the upside, I think it could be pretty good. And yeah, we do see because then basically if Ethereum breaks the upside and is following Bitcoin, then eventually Ethereum has a chance, if we get a positive enough 60-day cycle going into the next 60-day cycle. If we get enough of a positive one going into the first half, then I would say, Bitcoin and Ethereum both have the chance to go up quite substantially. I would say in the next Q2, I said this on my show yesterday, one of the reasons why we're choosing to basically launch the Crypto Mindset course in the middle of April is because it'll be a little bit before the 60-day cycle midpoint. And that will basically give us a good idea of whether we're going to be bullish or bearish by that time. And we can bet much more strongly to either side during that time, which is really, really important. But if we basically, Bitcoin has these two scenarios, which it's either going to go up to $55,000 to $65,000 by the end of Q2, in my opinion, or it's going to go down to like $35,000 to $25,000 by the end of Q2. So it's not just going to, I'd be shocked if it kept crabbing around like this for, another 3 months basically. But, that's just what I think is going to happen. And then for Ethereum, basically same scenario, right? Up here to like 4,000 or down to like 1,500, something in that range. But for the dominance here on Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin dominance continues to kind of get rejected 3 weeks in a row from this trend line, which is good. Meaning that if it starts to roll over here, Bitcoin starts to go up in price, Ethereum starts to go up in price. This goes down, altcoins then start to get some traction, probably around, if that's the bull case, right? Probably around late April to early May, we start getting some really nice price action. And we'll see how long it lasts, but that's the bull case right now.
Right.
Interesting.
And, yeah. And on the macro side and stuff, one of the reasons too why like April 15th is because U.S. taxes are done at that time. Of course, there are businesses and people that take extensions. So maybe it can go as far as maybe like, I think September. I think if you get the maximum extension, but that'll be pretty much the end of that basically. And then I'm pretty confident we're going to get some money printing again at some point. Yeah. So as soon as we get that money printer, and this is like why we keep talking about cryptocurrencies, because because we're in cryptocurrencies, the money does eventually flow into cryptos, and because we're such a small portion of the population that owns these cryptocurrencies. I mean, I'm being nice here and saying maybe 2% of the population has crypto. That's being nice. And everyone on this channel right now and in the comment section is in the top 20 percentile of the people who own almost all the crypto, because the average person who owns crypto owns basically nothing, like $100 or $200 of crypto. So when that cash flow starts coming in, we start getting Biden bucks, Kamala dollars. We're probably going to start seeing the prices start going back up.
Give me them Kamala dollars.
Kamala dollars.
Lord. Tap 2, $20 super chat. How much X could Pulse X if Pulse X could X Pulse? Thank you for the free money. Forum, Canadian $5 super chat. Made the crypto mindset course cost back yesterday. Great course, guys, and can't wait for the next. You know what the best thing is? You're going to keep on making money from the information and the skills you picked up in the crypto mindset course. It's not going to stop anytime soon. We got another $20 super chat. The Fed is going to be tightening and printing at the same time.
Stagflation, baby. Let's get it.
Stagflation. I just want for the audience sake, I just want to play this. This is a picture, or this is a video rather, of Joe Biden, and this is full speed. By the way, this is him signing the bill, and just look at all these people. Like, just how many of these people know how to use Spooky Swap? How many of these people know what MetaMask is? How many of these people know how to differentiate between an Ethereum wallet and a Bitcoin wallet? Just look at this. This guy looks like an animatronic out of Disney.
Anyway, I'm going to give it a shot here, okay? All right. Thank you.
Give the pen to Shalanda. Shalanda, you get it. Oh, yes.
Thanks.
Great job, Mr. President.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Thank God we are becoming sovereign individuals, because that is what what's crazy, guys, is that people still depend on that, and they think that's a trustworthy thing. The majority of people, they're not like us. They're like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, they still listen to the media every single day, which, I get why they do it, but they still believe it. They don't have as much critical thinking, unfortunately.
Tap 2, $5 super chat. I'm all in on crypto. Canceled my Netflix subscription last night. That's why you're sending all this money, huh?
There you go.
Thank you so much. Keep it coming. EC Smooth said, what did he sign? He signed HR 2471, the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2022, which we are going to be reviewing now. So basically, what this is a $1.5 trillion spending bill with $13 billion going to Ukraine. $13 billion going to Ukraine. This happened 19 days ago, this whole Ukraine ordeal. And it's just, I don't know. It's just hard to say this is not orchestrated and all planned. And like, it's just because the biggest thing for me is like, nobody cares about Corona anymore. Like, coronavirus is over.
Yeah, there's no money in the bill to support, trying to help, people with the virus. And it's just like, wasn't the thing that we were all worried about for like 2 years, and all of a sudden, like within like a month or two, it's like, oh yeah, don't worry about that.
19 days, Charlie. 19 days to slow the curve.
What curve are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. Ukraine's everything right now.
Yeah, it's just hilarious, and nobody. I think some people notice it, but most people are just idiots. They're already like, I don't know. It's I don't know.
That's the government right there.
Have you heard
right there.
Have you heard the new? Have you guys heard of the new variant?
No.
The Deltacron variant. It's the Delta and the Omicron. I'm not even joking.
Oh my god.
Creative, very creative over there.
You know something that's really funny though. You know who hasn't forgotten? China, because they started bullshitting new cases in order the cases are going so crazy in China right now. We can't ship these infrastructure and these shipments of things that America needs right now. Sorry, you guys, COVID's stopping us.
Sebastian Cardoso, I've got 5K available and I want to 10x. So do we all. Help.
Let's load up those rockets, baby.
I think he's asking for coin advice. Yeah, that's...
Win it out by ETH and then figure out the rest once we get back into a bullish move. Don't spend it all at once.
We're in a corrective phase of the bull market right now. So, Charlie, you want to pull up the legislation and talk about what we got going on here?
Sure. Let's do it. Oops. Where we go?
I'm going to look for the transgender stuff because I know it's in here.
Yeah, here, let me do one thing here before I do that.
So the bill is Division A is Agricultural, Rural Development, Food and Drug Administration, and related agencies. Division B, Commerce, Justice, Science, and related agencies. Division C, Military Personnel, Operation and Maintenance, basically Department of Defense. Division D, Energy and Water Development and related agencies. Division E, Financial Services and General Government Appropriations. Division F, Department of Homeland Security, of course, because terrorists, right? Division G, Department of Interior, Environment, related agencies. Division H, Department of Labor, Human and Health Services, and Education. I'd like to see what they're doing for education. Legislative branch is Division I. Military, again, in Division J. Division K, Department of State, and Division L, Transportation, Housing, Urban Development. Division M, COVID Supplemental, Division M, COVID Supplemental Appropriations Act, right there. And then Division N, Ukraine. Division O, Extensions. I mean, look at all. I mean, this is just insane. Just how much. I mean, I can't.
It goes to double letters because they have so many different fucking things they're paying for.
Trans-Sahara Counterterrorism Partnership Program is the AA.
Burial Equity for Guards and Reserve Act. What?
Division Z, Israel Relations Normalization Act.
Whoa.
Division Y, Cyber Incident Reporting for Critical Infrastructure Act of 2022. Division W, Violence Against Women. Oh, right. Okay, Charlie, what are we doing here?
Yeah, so I mean, do you want to read this whole thing word for word? No, I'm joking, but this thing is ridiculous. Do you think at all that these guys who basically are passing these laws, I don't even know, they don't even have how many pages this thing is, but it's got to be absolutely ridiculous. So how much are they aware of all the things that they're putting into law? Really,
No. I mean, who even wrote this fucking thing? We'll put it in the chat for you guys right there. The link is here, and it is right there, congress.gov/bill. You can see it on the screen. It's also in the chat. Pull it up. Tap to continue sending money. I think Biden's cognitive failure has him confusing America with Argentina just because they both started with letter A. Inflation is getting insane. Thank you. Go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah, and just to give people the media version of everything. I mean, there's basically it's the same version as everything else. It's just basically government is patting themselves on the back and says, hey, let's continue to fund a behemoth of a government that just keeps getting further and further in debt and spends your money like it's nothing else and then just takes it all through taxes. And there's a lot of stuff going on, but we'll read this article a little bit just to get the highlights. So President Joe Biden on Tuesday afternoon signed into law this massive new bill that will fund the federal government for the remainder of the fiscal year. So they only need $1.5 trillion for 1 year. And
oh my God.
prevent a government shutdown, as well as further aid for Ukraine. Earlier Tuesday, Biden administration officials continued their push for Congress to provide additional money to fight COVID-19, as the funding wasn't included in the 1.5 trillion spending bill.
Nice.
So, they know how to spend your money. That's for sure.
Heck yeah. I mean, we might as well say the Android 19 fund money is just a slush fund for pharmaceutical companies. I mean, let's be for real here.
The Red Ribbon Army.
Yes, yeah. The Red Ribbon Army. Yes.
I found transgenders 4 times in legislation. Oh, okay. So yeah, this is just hilarious. Demonstration program on trauma-informed victim-centered training for law enforcement. So you got to teach law enforcement about, involving lesbians, gay, bisexual, or transgender, commonly referred to as LGBT victim. And then the LGBT specific services program. And this is under the demonstration of program on trauma-informed victims. So establishment, the Attorney General, acting through the Director of Violence Against Women Office, right? These are Violence Against Men Office, referred to this in the director, shall make grants eligible to entities to enhance lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender specific services for victims of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, and stalking. So no straight men. Got it. Let's see what else we got here in this thing.
Whole bag of fun.
Task Force on Sexual Violence in Education. The Task Force on Sexual Violence Education, not later than September 1st, 2022, the Secretary of Education, Secretary of Health and Human Services, who is transgender, and the Attorney General should establish a joint interagency task force known as the Task Force on Sexual Violence in Education. Right. So we're going to teach about sexual violence, terrify kids about sex. We're not going to teach them about basic information as a human needing, how to balance your calories, which literally, I don't think 90% of Americans know how to track their calories and balance their diet daily. But
don't know how to balance that checkbook or now the credit card, right?
Right.
So
develop recommendations on culturally responsive and inclusive approaches to supporting survivors, which include consideration of race, ethnicity, national origin, religion, immigrant status, lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender status. God. There's money. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like I said, man, like they just hear these things. Okay, check that. Okay, let's go back home. Oh yeah, by the way, we're going to threaten to quit this year, and we're printing all this money for ourselves. So no, we're not going to. And it's just like a really long filibuster, with all the stuff that they're doing, and it's just it's a waste of time, in my opinion, hoping or thinking that the government's going to turn this around.
Yeah.
So
it's just wishful thinking at this point. Yeah. If you guys take a look, I'm just going to show you on the screen just the length of this bill. There's only one person on this planet who would read this thing front to end, and that's Alex Jones. And he would find everything. He would find everything. So let's take a look at here. The looking at this for necessary expenses of the Office of Chief Economist, $27 million, which $8 million shall be for grants or cooperative agreements for policy research under 7 USC 3155, provided that the amount made available under this heading, $500,000, shall be available to carry out Section 224 of Subtitle A of the Department of Agriculture Reorganization Act of 1994, as amended by Section 12504 Public Law 115334. The necessary expenses for the office hearing is $16 million. The necessary expenses of the office budget and programming analysis, $11 million. I mean, basically here, this is insanely complicated.
Yeah.
So insanely complicated. We'd have to put a team together to decipher all this. Miguel, you want to say something?
Yeah, about so if you read that right, basically what it says, $8 million is supposed to be of that money. $8 million is supposed to be used to actually research things. But if motherfuckers, at least 500,000 of it should be used for that. Basically saying that like eight million supposed to be used to research into things, but like at bare minimum 500,000 should be used to carry out into it. So basically, they can embellish, they can spend extra if they are not on research and just on themselves.
So who do you think would run this better, a corporation or the government?
Right.
Or a corporation at least has incentives to try to balance their checkbook and not overspend, and basically the government can't. It's like right now it's just like an addict who can't stop spending money. That's all they are right now.
Moon Gang will run this better, honestly.
Travis Terrell says it in the chat.
Moon Force, baby.
Travis Terrell says in the chat, complicated equal finesse hidden in the plan. Absolutely. Yeah, because if it's simple, this is why, like when I see people talking about like, the stuff on Tomb Finance, the epochs, and when they release their fucking statement, like short term equals this, long term equals this, medium to short term equals this. And it's just like, dude, you have like, are you the Riddler? Do you have a fucking hieroglyphic like cipher for me to decipher this? Anything that's overly complicated intentionally is a red flag. And I mean, this is insane. This is truly insane. For necessary expenses of the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service, including up to $30,000 for representation allowances and for expenses pursuant to the Foreign Services Act of 1980, $1.1 billion of which up to $3.4 million shall be for the purposes and in the amounts specified for this account in the table titled Community Project Spending, Congressionally Directed Spending, in the explanatory statement described in Section 4. Dude, this is like let me ask you this. Who puts this together? It's got to be a team of lawyers, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, some of these politicians are lawyers by trade as well. So yeah, it's sort of here was saying, can we fork the U.S. government? It has been done before.
Me and Charlie have strategized on a possibility, but we're keeping those cards close to the chest right now.
I would say buy Bitcoin.
Yeah,
and Ethereum.
There's also the Dairy Indemnity Program for necessary expenses involved in making indemnity payments to dairy farmers and manufacturers of dairy products under a Dairy Indemnity Program. Such sums as may be necessary to remain available until expended. The appropriations of this money is not explained. Go ahead.
It's subsidies for the dairy market, basically. So, basically, if there's losses or something, or if they need money, there you go. They can use it. They got like a blank check, basically, to subsidize like the biggest like milk producers in the United States.
Yeah. Right. Which also is like a huge fucking. There was a huge marketing campaign. I mean, you guys all remember when we were kids, right? What are the two popular words? Got milk. Remember?
Got milk. Yeah.
With the milk mustache, and they were just they were just brainwashing people to fucking drink milk, and milk has a lot of people are finding out it's not that good for you. Almond milk is good for you, but like this kind of traditional style milk, not necessarily the best stuff.
Right, and one of the main reasons why there's also subsidies on there on milk products, because it's a part of the consumer inflation index. So this is also a way they can subsidize the price from going up, so they can say, hey, inflation's not that bad. Yeah.
Logged in Vladu, $30 super chat. Finally attending a live show. Cheers to you guys for all the good info you put out daily. Life-changing education. Thanks so much. Yeah, we're it's pretty insane. Yeah, raw milk is the only milk you should be drinking.
Cambodian breast milk, I'm telling you guys.
From a Cambodian immigrant. So if you take a look at this, I mean, I just want to highlight some, because I think this is the first time for some members out there actually looking at a legislation like this. I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to read this section here, and the only reason I'm going to read it in its entirety is so you can see how insanely complicated this is, which just is pointing to just, nonstop fuckery. For gross obligations for the principal amount of direct and guaranteed loans as authorized by Section 306 and described in Section 381E, parentheses D, parentheses 1 of the Consolidated Farm and Rural Development Act, $2.8 billion for direct loans and $650 million for guaranteed loans. For the cost of direct loans, loan guarantees, grants, including the cost of modifying loans, as defined in Section 502 of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974 for rural communities, rural community facility programs, as authorized by Section 306 and described in Section 381E, parentheses D1 of Consolidated Farm and Rural Development Act, $239 million to remain available until expended, of which up to $183 million shall be for the purposes and in the amounts specified for this amount in the table titled Community Project Funding, Congressionally Directed Spending, in the explanatory statement described in Section 4. I mean,
sounds like a blast.
Yeah, dude, that paragraph, I literally didn't know where the money was going on that one. Legitimately, what the hell?
Yeah.
I think somebody put a comment. I can't go back and find it in the thing before, but basically, 3 cups and a ball. Where's the ball? Trying to figure it out.
Yep. Let me put something. Let me check some other legislation here.
I mean, the government is just so ridiculous at this point. It's like
it is truly clown show. It's clown world.
Once we're through with some of these examples, I do have an example of a potentially competent government, but I know this one has its issues as well. But there's kind of some interesting news on that side too.
Yeah. Yep. We might as well start campaigning.
God. Fucking.
Hey, man. Remember Jesse Ventura, Arnold Schwarzenegger, man, tag team governors. They did pretty well, actually. So it's yeah.
Assuming the elections are legit, which they all are. But yeah, it's just so. Let me see if I get this straight. You guys can run it past me if I'm wrong. But a team of lawyers writes this up, and then they vote on it themselves whether to pass it or not after they write it.
Yes, and not all of them. It's only like key members in both parties that actually write it. Mm-hmm. So there's this is the most messed up part, is like 3/4 of the Senate and the House of Representatives don't even have enough time to usually read the bills.
I don't have fucking time to read this shit.
Yeah.
And so they write this whole thing up within their inner party. Then they vote on it on their inner party. And then they take it to the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve prints the money.
Where's that new clip?
It ain't ready yet. It's in the cut.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, one of the in terms of like, I mean, it's all digital on a database already, anyways, right?
Right.
And so they're just going to take that next step here. Basically, they're going to clarify what they want to do with the central bank digital currency over the next 6 months. So, then they can print more. They can take a couple zeros off here or there. Eventually, they don't respect money. It doesn't matter. They're just going to keep spending more and more and more. Trillions a new billion, 10 million's a new 1 million. I think if these guys here, want to get financially free, some people, if you were to say $1 million is the level you have to get to be financially free from all this mess, right? A lot of people would think that's a lot of money. But, at the end of the day, with all the inflation, all the money printing, it's really not. So, I think people just need to, use markets like crypto, shoot as high as possible in order to break free. and never look back, because nobody else is going to come out here and help you. And yeah, you're going to take your bumps and bruises along the way, right? It's not going to be a smooth ride 100% of the time, but it's much, much better than letting your money just waste away in a bank account.
Right.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I'm looking at it all. And it's I don't know. I I don't know. Like, this is just literally like is everybody just this dumb? And I'm afraid I'm afraid I already have the answer.
Well, they just are, programmed to say, both in terms of the media side, the education side, everything just programmed to be like, okay, sure, go ahead. Like, nobody's, the only way to really, fight this now, it's not going through government means and trying to actually change the system and stuff like this. It's just finding a place for yourself that doesn't require dependence on a particular system.
Because the minute you depend on the system, it's bread and circus. So it's just, they're just gonna, the average person, because they're paying attention to the media, and they're essentially, what's going on is like almost most of America is essentially watching WWE effectively.
Hey man, they're coming out with NFTs, man.
Is that really true?
100%. They're called
oh my god,
WWE Moonsault. Hell yeah, let's go.
There we go, man. Moonsault. But it's just that sort of thing where the average American is just trying to like, when I'm saying this is like, I'm copy pasting this from like the average American is really struggling right now and barely trying to make it right now because of the inflation and like the lack of work and everything. But legitimately, that's what's going on, is like people are working, so because Americans aren't. I mean, I know the average people, we make fun of Americans and everything like that, but Americans they work more than most countries in terms of hours and stuff, of like how much they're working. So they're working so much, they're not paying attention, and then they're getting paid shit for it because they're getting slave wages. And then because of that, then they go to the media on Twitter and all these other places and getting misinformed. And then they're just trying to veggie out and get high or get drunk and not do anything for the future and stuff. So it's just a consistent system to keep them enslaved. And then on top of that, they fund, the welfare system in there to keep people poor as well. So that's another subject. There's like there's classes of slaves. There's like slaves on slaves on slaves, which is crazy. Yeah.
So this approved, right? And then, so the Federal Reserve is going to issue this money electronically to all the departments and start dispersing it.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Let's go into debt. Further down the drain.
Because that's the only way we can keep this thing going, is continue printing. I mean, I think under the Trump administration was the first time we printed $1 trillion bill, correct?
Well, I mean, I don't know if they actually printed $1 trillion bill, but I mean, they printed $1 trillion at a time. Yeah.
Sorry, I meant that they signed legislation for.
Oh, right.
I think that was the first.
That'd be dope.
No.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's the
bill
first
for $1 trillion. Yeah,
that's the first time in American history, right?
Yeah, I think Obama only did 600 billion. I think that so I think you're right on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and back I think it was like in 2000, mid 2000s, right? When we were going to Iraq and everybody's complaining about like $60 billion, for the military effort. And it's like the numbers every decade just get up ridiculous, like 60 billion, 500 billion, 800 billion, trillion, 1.5 trillion. What's it going to be next decade, right? 3 trillion, 5 trillion, 10 trillion.
Because we're already at 2 trillion. I mean, we did 1.9 trillion. I mean, it's basically fucking 2 trillion. And yeah, so I'm interested to see how this money's going to be dispersed, because even out of that trillion, what did the average American get, Miguel, in America during the coronavirus stuff?
It basically was like $1,300.
So check. 1,300 around, and not all Americans got it. I would say like what, 200 million got it.
So yeah, roughly, you had to be 18 years old, and if you made us over a certain amount of money, you didn't get it. But most people got it. Basically, I would say like 80% of people got it in the States. But it wasn't even that many checks, really. I mean, like if it was just like the check, it was like one or two checks. But where people really killed it is on the unemployment side, because they bass boosted the unemployment, and this is where this started the problem, where people took unemployment and they're like, holy shit, I'm making 2-3 times more money than I've ever made in my life, and which incentivized people not to go to work anymore. And then
Canada
on top of
too.
that, I think it's the PVV loans, or the basically small business
PVP.
loans.
Yep.
Yeah, PVP loans and stuff, which are basically like blank checks for small businesses who are smart enough to take it, basically. So it's like, you want $1 million? I mean, do you have at least buy Bitcoin? Yeah, so not financial advice, of course. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, definitely not.
Truly, 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 truly insane times we live in.
Yep. Well, and this is, again, I mean, I just keep harping on it, keep coming back to it. I mean, it's kind of my job, but just again, more reason to buy Bitcoin, buy something that's going to help you retain value, buy Ethereum, just it just needs to keep going in that direction. But in terms of a competent government, right, that is basically, or I wouldn't say they're competent quite yet, but they want to go in that direction. And we could talk about both sides of the coin on this one. But this is quite interesting. I showed this on my show yesterday, but it's always, I think this one's bullish enough news worth looking at twice, which is South Korea's incoming president vows big cryptocurrency push, right? And if we go down and read like just the very, very beginning of this article, I do think it is, oh, what the hell? It's only showing me the beginning of it. That's some fucked up shit. But basically what they're doing here in South Korea is the president essentially wants to make sure that ICOs are legal in Korea, so that you can basically have your initial coin offerings, have cryptocurrency be a strong force in Korea. Right now, what all these Korean blockchain companies are doing is they're moving their corporations down to Singapore, moving business out of the country for Korea. So this new president basically just wants more business in the country. Also, no taxes for people who are trading or using cryptocurrency under $40,000, which is the same as their law for the stock market. If you're trading stocks under $40,000 in capital gains, there's no tax. And so it's just like, oh, a government that is reasonable. It's like, we will tax crypto, same as we tax stocks, and we're going to allow this industry in our country. We're going to allow this industry to help our country thrive, bring out our digital economy, which is inevitable. I mean, you got the United States government over the next 180 days talking about digital assets at the highest levels. So you're going to start seeing a lot of countries kind of changing like this. Korea was against cryptocurrency for quite a while in terms of making it like at the very, I would say in 2017, they were pretty loose on it. Over the last 3 or 4 years, they've gotten pretty tough on it and kind of pushed the industry out of the country to some extent. And now they're kind of looking to loosen it up again. So the whole time crypto was thriving in this area of the world too, but it's just going to make things easier, right, for coins to go up. And we know one coin, Luna, right, which is based out of South Korea, which, hey, might have some nice tailwinds from this. Not saying right now is the perfect time to go out and buy it, but just over the course of this year, I think that project will do well. I know me and DCC were kind of talking about both sides of the coin on that, meaning there is, South Korea can pull this lever, right? They turn it off, turn crypto off, turn crypto on, turn crypto off, turn crypto on. So there's going to be some volatility in that as well. I don't know if you want to speak to that, Miguel.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess I'll speak to the negative of it. Why not? That's what people are here for. But on Luna, right? So I do think Luna is a good coin. UST is basically the hottest stable coin in the market right now, because they basically have a guaranteed, 19, 20, 21% yield effectively on UST, on stable coin. So basically, here's the problem: is South Korea is basically China light in a way. So it's they're not communists, but they basically are in a way. Where like it's a sort of thing where the government allows ultra monopolies, not regular monopolies, ultra monopolies, where legitimately it's like 4 or 5 corporations truly control everything, and it's a sort of thing where
Facebook, Apple, Google.
Everything, that like Tinder, Pornhub, everything, all of it under one corporation.
It's not that different. I mean, than I mean, America is going more and more in the authoritarian
Correct.
direction as well.
Yeah.
You know?
But there, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more like out in the open, where like the corporation, like it's like, okay, we understand it's these corporations that control everything, and then from there, they're super in bed with the government. Legitimately, if the government says something to the corporation, it gets instantly done on their free market. So it's like you have a free market ish, not a free market, like a couple people essentially controlling the entire thing. So if the South Korean government goes negative, or if the United States government or something geopolitically happens, because they're in a vulnerable position because North Korea is right above them, if anything were to happen where they the United States or somebody else says, hey, cut that shit out, and they have to, they get the Luna will be put into huge, tremendous pressure and stuff, because obviously, like, they were doing actually they had ran through about 60% of the reserves on Anchor to keep that 19% APY up, and then magically they raised they got a couple $2 billion in instant injection fund, and then now it's up only, basically. That's kind of what's going on.
To the moon, baby. To the
moon, baby. And I'm not knocking it, it just is what it is. But there's people that I like listen to sometimes, and they're like this right now with UST, like looking at all side eyes, because at some point that's going to be a trade where that implodes, there's going to be money to be made for them.
Well, that's the thing that I really think is interesting about that project in particular, is the ups are very strong and the downs are very strong as well, right? With Luna in particular, because of that situation, which the more volatility there, the more extreme it is, the more coins you can basically get. And one thing, you just have to know how to use the system correctly, essentially, right? It's like, don't take leverage out on it. Don't put all your USD in UST. Just basically bet on the main horse, Luna. When it goes up, sell it. Don't be afraid to sell it, right? When it comes down, buy it back again. Keep compounding your coins. Go and put it up there for, anywhere between 20 to 80% APY, and, live happily ever after. But I mean, it's The only thing I was going to say to that was just the last thing I was going to say was, it just popped into my mind was, essentially, there's some of these coins out here, right, that have a lot of different risks. I think just a lot of people aren't looking at them, so I do think it's important to look at those sides, anyways.
Lone Brown Wolf, $2 super chat. IID is whatever group of people that get money. Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah. So from everything, as every year progresses onwards, I mean, Charlie, you and I are pretty dialed in. We didn't believe the coronavirus shit from day one. You're the only friend that I had was like, yep, this is bullshit. Everybody else was sipping the Kool-Aid. Everybody. And so, even our red pill leaders were believing that shit. I mean, I was getting my videos deleted in early 2020 when I was talking about it.
Yeah, I think we had like at least 2 or 3 or 4 of those streams, right, that were banished off the internet. Yeah.
Yep. We got depersoned.
Shout out to MLD with pandemic pickup.
But I would say this, right? As everything progresses forward, I see governments losing power across the globe.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a shift of power that you could take advantage of, and shift some of that power to you, in terms of economic power, right?
They just don't have enough manpower to stop us all. And I think that's what's happening, is just like a gradual, like kind of, I mean, the coronavirus situation is a great example. We were getting to the point with the trucker convoy and the protests that the masses woke up and fought back. And what people don't realize right now, and this is why they're starting the Ukraine conflict, in my opinion, they're starting the Ukraine conflict, right? Because they don't want the world to know that the people stood up and won. I really think that's what it is. Because what if the news is like, demonstration work, the mandates are being rolled back. I mean, Timothy, he's in France, right? And I was telling him, like, because France was getting pretty draconian. They weren't even letting people in supermarkets without with their vax ID shit. And I just told him, I said, dude, just hold your ground. Watch, this shit's gonna boil over. You know, our favorite little buddy here in town, Mac, was losing his mind. Like, you know, the IDs are coming to Tokyo, man. The IDs come to Tokyo. Now, I definitely have 100% authentic, real vaccine card that I have because I'm a good citizen. And when I went to Colombia, the advanced security at the border was top of the line. It was a Colombian chick with a orange yellow mesh vest on, and I handed her my vax card, and this is what she did. All right, welcome to Colombia. Everything was in English. You know, when I went to the restaurants, like, oh, you can only enter here if you have your vax card. I was like, oh yeah, I got a picture of it here on my phone. And it's just nobody. It's just clown world. It's just like a free for all. It's a free for all. Everybody's just doing whatever the fuck they want, including the government, including the people.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, you know, where's the Curb Your Enthusiasm's theme music on your soundboard there? We need to click that. It's just like, you know, it's just like ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm so jaded to you know, a lot of what the government does. I'm just like, okay, what are the rules that I need to be able to keep my wealth? What are the rules that I need in order to, you know, build my business? What are the rules that I need to take care of myself and the people that I care about? And, you know,
is that
at the end of the day, it's about, you know, trying to move up, right? Because like, yeah,
you feel that it's earthquake.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. My lights are kind of moving a little bit.
We're shaking up here on the 19th floor.
Whoa. I can see your don't quit. I'm shaking a little bit.
Yeah. We're okay. No.
We're all gonna die. It's going to zero.
Yeah, that always. I still don't get used to those. I still don't get used to those.
Damn.
I thought I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm getting lightheaded or something. No, that's an earthquake.
Yeah, I noticed your eyes kind of got big there for a second.
Yeah, no, I was like, wait a minute. Are these the years of my college drug use coming back? That was creepy. That's never fun. Oh man.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah. Just control what you can control and make money is the name of the game, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, that was fun. God damn. That was scary. Yeah, they said that's Maria looking for TCC. Or no, what? This is no here. Where does it say? That's Bitcoin crashing. That's what I meant to click. That's Bitcoin crashing. RIP.
Too bad it's almost at $41,000.
Oh yeah. So, anyways, you want to talk about? Let's talk about the freezing of the Bitcoin. Talking about, you know, just futile acts of the government.
Oh, I mean, freezing the bank accounts.
Yeah, I thought they froze some of the Bitcoin on the Bitcoin donation sites.
Yeah, what they did was any website, right, that was asking to donate Bitcoin. Oh, that's a big one now.
Oh shit, yeah, that's huge. It's okay. It's okay. Come here. It's okay. Come here. You all right? You're okay.
It's actually
come. This is actually pretty big. It's okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, they usually only last about 30 seconds.
Oh, this one's getting bigger.
Damn.
Oh shit.
That's pretty rough.
That's pretty big. Oh fuck.
Shit.
Hold on.
Yeah. Maybe I should. Yeah.
Hold on.
Whoa.
It's okay. It's okay. Come here. Happy. Come on. Chill out. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. It's okay. Don't worry, it's okay. Shh.
Dude, this is so crazy live. Like, what the fuck is going on right now?
It's okay.
Well, you know, we're in Japan. That's for sure.
Oh, my heart is beating. Oh, fuck me.
Now it's dying off.
It's okay. It's slowing down. It's okay. Don't worry.
That was the biggest one we've had since 2011, I think.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's all right. Don't worry, baby. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. Send super chats.
Send support, you guys.
MLD relief super chats here.
Good thing we're well inland.
Oh, this one's actually, Charlie, it's picking up.
No, mine's done.
Oh, we're shaking hard over here, actually.
No, you're still having. Yeah,
It's okay.
basically, it's just that little like sloshing at the end.
Yeah.
Damn.
Come on, it's okay. It's okay. It's gonna be fine.
And
Japan must have launched.
that's a wrap. That was the first for the Tokyo Crypto Show. It's after what, 113 episodes? Wow, it's the 113. So
It's
lucky
for
13.
shaking
But
at the top.
hey, it's one of these things where it's like, it took until 113 to get one going there.
Right, not bad. I was gonna make a dumb joke about Japan launching Gundam Zero to attack China. Right now, they just launched it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
Was that signal long or short? Probably not short.
I think that was Bitcoin just breaking through 41,000 because Bitcoin's at 40,950 right now. Let's go.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, for a second there, I was like, do I need to find a buttress within this house? Or is this going to die off? But
Damn.
I think we're all good now.
I was gonna have to be on the stream. It's like, hey, as the last surviving member of the Tokyo Crypto Show.
Just give me 2 seconds. We're shaking pretty hard up here on the 19th floor. Hold on.
Yeah, it's
for sure.
It's going to take a while for it to die down. So, anywho, how about those WWE NFTs?
I can't believe that's real. Well, it was about time, though. I mean, yeah, it's about, like, I guess. I think like the somersault thing. I think that might be like they may have named it after like the WWE like figurines because some of them actually could somersault, if I remember right. I just never
really?
could. Yeah, because as a kid, I just never bought any of that stuff. But I remember seeing the commercials where some of them can flip and do all kinds of stuff. So maybe that's where they got the name from, possibly.
Now you're gonna do some moonsaults.
The moonsaults.
I mean, I'm not even
we'll
some of the audience might think like we're actually joking because like so much ridiculous stuff, right? But here we go, right here. Let's go.
Wow, moonsault. I hope there's a Booker T where he just like, wait, never mind. Let's see it. He calls Hulk Hogan a fucking an N-word.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Booker T was a good one. He was I think WW or WCW and then went over to WWF, right?
Yeah, and he had the most annoying. I remember watching this as a kid and shit, like where he was WWE champion, and they went to WrestleMania, and he had the longest entrance in WWE history. Like I shit you not, 45 minutes to get to the ring on a car, just waving like this, and it was like the most ridiculous. It's just so you could hate him, basically. Yeah. And I think he got married in there too, if I remember right. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, the theatrics are great. You know what's really funny? I just thought about this. Usually on the cell phone, for like the bigger earthquakes and stuff, we have this pre-warning system, which basically just goes wah, 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 from your phone, and like everybody, like when we had some in the office before, we'd usually have like 100 phones going off at the same time. People are like, oh, time to pay attention. But like crazy that was like one of the biggest ones we've had in like a decade and nothing.
Yeah, this show is a certified hood classic, basically.
It's crazy, but anyways. So
yeah, I mean, but hey,
no, Sebastian, we will survive. We will survive,
bro. I'd be so sad if that happened. I'd be like, wow, literally seeing DCC get rugged on camera, bro. Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like some people are saying on the news it says something like a 6.0 or 7.3.
That's a lot more dramatic.
What's the typical one? Less than 4, maybe like 3, something like that at max. Like there's not usually don't have like anything over 7 is like crazy. Not too crazy, but like it's not good.
I mean, coincidence? I mean, like we started talking about the spending bill and earthquake in Japan. Coincidence? I mean, remember this? Remember the Tongans? They accept Bitcoin, then their volcano goes nuclear. I'm just saying,
It's funny.
I didn't
But anyways, Oscillin says, "Where am I going to get my crypto news now?" BitBoy. Sorry, you're regulated to BitBoy. Less than 4 is okay. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I think people are talking about earthquakes. I was in 6.8 in Northbridge in '94. I was probably 3 years old. Chris Perez. If it's in '94,
okay now.
Man, that was not fun.
Wow, that was entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not cool. They shut down the elevator, so like we can't even get downstairs.
Oh damn.
Like they turn off the power. But anyways, we need more transgender in the military.
Oh god,
the best transition ever. Oh, that was a pun. Damn it.
Oh man. Yeah. Jesus, that was scary as fuck. So it was in Fukushima, Charlie. It was I think it was a 6 point, another one, a 6.9 is what I briefly saw.
Damn, that's fucking crazy. Inland or in the mountains?
I don't know. It was just quickly we checked it.
Yeah, or I meant sea or mountains. Yeah, that'd be interesting to know. But it's good that it's not Fukuoka. Basically, there's there's a little bit of a rumble right now still.
Yeah, we get a little bit of an aftershock. Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Yeah. But anyways, not usually, there's a in Fukuoka, there's a fault line right underneath a nuclear power plant. So that's where we don't want one. So, who is the bright guy who had the bright idea to build that motherfucking thing? But,
whew. Well, shall we go ahead and talk about the freezing of the accounts and stuff?
Yeah, let's go into it.
Well, so yeah, I mean, basically, in terms of globally, what we've seen here in terms of the freezing of bank accounts, right, is we saw basically people in Canada, right, as soon as they started doing a protest and trying to have a voice, against their government, they get basically all their bank accounts shut down. The one question you were asking is, did some of their Bitcoin get shut down? The Bitcoin, right, they were still able to receive in their wallets. Once it's in their wallets, it's in their wallets. Right. But in addition to that, they can basically take down the UI of any of these websites which are trying to help people to accept Bitcoin. So they can basically do that on the site, which could slow down the accumulation of different things like that. Yeah. But that's what they try to do. But obviously, I think a lot of these people just switch to more basic ways of accepting Bitcoin. So that's good. And then, then we had Russia, right? Basically similar thing. Like you said, MasterCard, all those things were shut down. Now Union Pay from China is coming into Russia, essentially. So, it's not fun to see those things happening. A lot of people are like, well, it's not happening here yet.
Yes.
Right. So it's like, it's one of these things that's just, it just shows the weakness of the fiat system, the traditional system. And again, another reason why, people need to take that self-sovereignty in their own hands and own the coins, right? Because I think a lot of people rely on centralized exchanges for crypto as well, a little bit too much. And I think it's just a good reminder for people to, get their treasures and, MetaMask and own your keys.
Definitely. And then having and then also, I would highly recommend getting a hardware wallet, getting a Trezor or a Ledger. And you store up some of your savings in BTC or ETH in there as well, because there's been some shenanigans with MetaMask, a little bit with JP Morgan and stuff like that, with possible like ownership of that. I haven't found anything that says that they do own it, but they're like, there's enough smoke there that I'm like, and consent. It's kind of insane. It's I don't have it on me. I didn't know we were going to talk about this specifically, but I did have this little flow chart or this little like graph that actually shows all the founding members of Ethereum and what they've created and stuff. And then basically JP Morgan acquired 3 slices of the pie already, which is crazy. So it's like, so it's just more of the thing, making sure that, we have one more than, I still use MetaMask and still going to use MetaMask, but I have some savings and some other stuff not on a MetaMask in a hardware wallet and stuff, and then also using some other wallets as well and stuff. So it's just being careful and not having one attack vector. It's the same thing that we tell in the crypto mindset courses is you just don't have one wallet for everything. That's insanity. You have multiple wallets.
Yeah, no central point of failure even in your self-custody.
Yep. You have multiple wallets, and I recommend 2 wallets per ecosystem minimum, right? You have a safe wallet and a degen wallet always, because if for some reason one gets compromised, it's sort of like having 12. If you have 12 wallets and they hack one, well, they only took a 12th of your crypto at worst case. So it makes you much less syncable in terms of the government and everything like that. So
yeah, definitely. And I think one of those things is, as you climb the citadel, right, you have to start acting like, if you want to be your own bank, you have to start acting like a bank as well, which, going in and getting that financial knowledge through a way that is interesting and profitable for you, right? Hashtag crypto mindset course, basically is what's needed, right? A lot of people were not taught finance in their traditional schooling system. And so literally a lot of people out here that want to be able to do that, but don't know how, right? And so that's why we're here talking about this stuff, because nobody else, the media is not going to talk about it for you. They're going to say, save that 401k, and all that jazz. Well, the main system is just, not very profitable or negative. So anyways.
Yeah. So moving forward, I think let's call it there, because I got to handle some stuff here. I got some trauma victims. Thanks for watching us, guys. We'll see you next week. Sorry about the earthquake. We'll do better next time. But you guys tune in to Charlie's show tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, my channel, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then.